Hi. Today I would like to tell you a few stories told by Osama ibn Munkiz in his book of Exhortation. By the way, Osama was a participant in many battles and encounters with Crusaders. Quite often he had contact with them in peacetime as well. His accounts of the Franks and their mores have been accepted by most scholars as truth, though recently many have acknowledged the frankly humorous nature of some of his stories. They might be called historical anecdotes. In general, the Muslims at that time regarded the Europeans, and in particular the Crusaders, with a soft-spoken attitude. They noted their rudeness, low morality, and especially the lack of personal hygiene. In principle, they did not go far from the truth, and even when some of the Franks adopted the habits and traditions, they continued to ridicule the Europeans in literature. Osama ibn Munkiz took some of his stories to the point of outright farce and made harsh mockery of characteristic stereotypes about Europeans. Let's look at 3 such stories. One day a merchant returned home and found a man lying next to his wife in his bed. "Why are you near my wife?" he asked him. "I was tired, and I came here to rest," replied the stranger. The merchant went on. "How did you end up in my bed?" The man replied, "I saw that the bed was sent, and lay down on it." The merchant exclaimed, "But my wife is lying with you." "After all, the bed belongs to her," the man replied. "How could I not let her into her bed?" The Frank exclaimed, "I swear by the truth of my faith. If you do it again, we'll have a fight with you." Thus his discontent and the highest degree of jealousy was manifested. Another example. We had a bath attendant from Almer named Salim, who served in my father's baths. May Allah have mercy on him. Salim told me, "I opened a bathhouse in Almer in order to live off the income from it. One day a Frankish knight came to the bath, and they do not approve of those who gird themselves with a veil while in the bath. He reached out his hand, tore my veil from my belt, threw it away, and saw me without everything. And I had recently shaved my pubic hair." "Salim!" shouted the Frank to me. I went over to him and he put his hand on my pubis. "Salim, that's good," he exclaimed. "I swear by the truth of my faith, do the same to me." And he lay on his back, and he had exactly a second beard on that spot. I shaved him, and he ran his hand over it and stroked it, and said to me, "O Salim, I beseech thee in the truth of thy faith, do likewise to Aldama." And Aldama means madam in their language, and he means his wife. "Tell Aldama to come." He shouted to the servant, who went and brought his wife. She lay on her back and the knight said, "Do to her what you did to me." And I was shaving her hair, and her husband was sitting there looking at me. And then he thanked me and gave me money for it. Here is another incident similar to this one. Once when I was in the city of Tyre, I went into the bathhouse and was sitting there in a separate room. One of my servants said to me, "There is a woman in the bathhouse with us." When I went out into the common room and sat down on a stone bench, suddenly the woman who had been in the bath appeared and stood opposite me. She had already dressed and was standing with her father. I was not sure if it was the woman, and I said to one of my companions, "For the sake of Allah, see if it is a woman. I want you to inquire about her." He went. Before my eyes he pulled up the hem of her dress and I looked. Then her father turned to me and said, "This is my daughter, her mother is dead and she has no one to wash her hair. I brought her with me to the bathhouse and washed her hair myself." "You did well," I said. "There will be a heavenly reward for that." As we see in these stories, Europeans are made out to be blatant idiots to whom Osama gives the following traits. No respect for tradition, no knowledge of etiquette, availability of women, lack of jealousy, and so on. Even the girl's father considers it normal that a strange man approaches her daughter and lifts the hem of her dress. And what do you think could actually happen such a story, or is it still a humorous story?